It's the key word often buried in the fine print of insurance policies, experimental. And who decides what's experimental? You guessed it, the insurance companies.
Dear member, this request is not approved.
Tarceva is FDA approved for other cancers, but her insurer, a company that made $2.3 billion in profit last year, said it hadn't been proven effective for her disease. Healthcare watchdog Jerry Flanagan is critical of this insurance industry practice.
Insurance companies broadly look at ways to deny coverage. One of their favorite strategies is to call the treatment experimental so that they could deny access and keep the premiums and profits for themselves.
And there is big money at stake.
I said to the pharmacist, if I pay for this myself, how much would it cost? And she said, $4,602 for 1 month.
And there was more ammunition coming at Coventry. Casey sought a second opinion from cancer specialist Dr. Edward Kim at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. After his examination, Dr. Kim also recommended Tarceva as the best treatment for Mary.
I'll write your prescription for Tarceva, and you can drop it off at the pharmacy.
And that wasn't all. Dr. Kim went so far as to write Coventry Healthcare this rare letter, pleading with the insurer to cover the drug. Tarceva has shown promise in other tumor types. My preference would be for Mary Casey to start Tarceva, he wrote. Mary's cancer is so rare, less than 1,000 cases diagnosed a year. Doctors say it's unlikely there will ever be any large studies proving it works in her cancer. But doctors also say they've seen real evidence that it can work, like Angie Shocker.
Hey, come on, I've got clothes for you to put up.
This 36-year-old mother of 4 lives only 1 hour from Mary Casey. She also has the same rare cancer. Her doctor also prescribed Tarceva. Strikingly similar medical cases with one major difference: their insurance policies. Angie's insurance provider, Aetna, had no problem covering Tarceva because her policy covered oral cancer drugs. Whether the drug was experimental or not wasn't even an issue.
They have been wonderful. I have not had any problems at all.
She's been on Tarceva for a year now, and her cancer has stabilized.
It has helped me. It has stabilized the nodules. Oh, I go 100 miles an hour. We just go nonstop.
Coventry Healthcare denied our repeated requests for an on-camera interview, but in an email to GMA stood their ground, saying, since Tarceva is not FDA approved for Mrs. Casey's type of cancer and there are no current clinical trials evaluating the use of Tarceva for Mrs. Casey's cancer diagnosis, it's not appropriate to authorize a treatment for which safety and effectiveness of the treatment have not been recognized by the FDA. Coventry defends its definition of experimental, saying it relies on, quote, evidence-based medicine and is following the law. But it turns out that Coventry, like all insurers, has the ability to approve certain off-label treatments for other diseases. Many do. One study found that 20% of all prescriptions are written to treat illnesses they are not FDA approved for. Insurance companies often approve those claims with no problem.
Unfortunately, we just have lack of oversight in terms of what an insurance company can call experimental. And it isn't until a patient complains that lawmakers review these cases.
With the clock ticking for Mary 7 months into the back against her insurer, that's exactly what he hopes to do.
I am not the only American in this boat. I don't want the insurance company deciding my treatment. I want my doctors deciding my treatment.
Well, this is the insurance company overruling more than one doctor, including a doctor at MD Anderson, saying that she should have this drug.
Yeah, and if you notice, they didn't even mention doctors in their statement about what determines experimental for them. Who decides your care, the doctor or the insurance company? It's a fundamental problem.
And again, somebody very near her with similar cancers getting the drug because Aetna says okay. So Aetna says okay, but the $2.3 billion profit Coventry says no.
It's not a money, and it's not a money issue, and that's why these stories are so important. That's why we're staying on it. We're going to follow this one and follow many, many more.
Send us more, and let's hear it for Aetna. We'll take a break. We'll be back. The Harry Potter Secret Review.
We all have internal plumbing, but for some of us, it can be a problem. You know, frequent, sudden bladder urges. You worry your pipes might leak, so it's hard to always do things spur of the moment.